that part of me that just really latches on to that imposter syndrome, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. When did you first experience that feeling?
Oh gosh, probably, I mean, earlier than grad school, I would say. Probably starting in school.
Mhm. Like kindergarten?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember what happened?
Hmm. I think just not feeling like smart enough.
Yeah, why not?
Whether that was through I can't think of like specific situation, but just remembering feeling like, oh, I have to be the best, or not even the best, but I want to be up here and I don't feel like I'm there.
Yeah. Who told you you wanted to be up there? That was just an inherent feeling?
Yeah, and I think like just expectations, like I'm an only child, so putting that pressure on, like parents have high expectations for you
Mhm.
and you just go with that.
Yeah. So your parents were really paying close attention to your grades, and if you weren't getting the best grades, they really noticed. What would they do?
Um, Maybe not so much like, I never had that external motivator of like, we'll pay you for these grades or we'll do this. It was just an expectation,
Mhm.
I think. Um, and then my own like perfectionistic tendencies and anxious tendencies came out in that too.
Mhm. So you said it's an expectation. So did you just always get good grades? Or was
Mm-hmm.
there ever a time you didn't get good grades?
Mm-mm.
So out of the pure anxiety of what would happen, you always got good
Yeah.
grades. You were
Yeah.
always good enough.
Yep.
But you still have that anxiety of I'm not good enough because the reality is you can never be perfect, right?
Right.
That's just not possible. And
Mm-hmm.
school sets you up for this system of like, but you can get 100 and that's perfect. And it's like,
Right.
but not really. We're just reciting stuff right now,
Yep.
right? You were just saying
Mm-hmm.
I'm good at reciting back what you told
Yeah.
me.
Yep.
That's all that means.
When I can just look it up on the computer now or
Now that we
find
all
it
have
in a
these
book.
external brains, we don't have to
Yeah,
remember anything.
exactly.
Um, so, but you have nothing but evidence that you're good enough, you're smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like you, right?
Right. Yeah.
But still, there's this really deep voice that's like, you're not good enough.
Yep.
So, what does that voice need?
I mean, maybe that's kind of where some of this, like the idea for either a course, maybe it's not a course for clients, but a course like working through imposter syndrome, um, helpers helping the helpers and like what comes along with that.
Mhm,
Like maybe I need a deep dive into that
mhm.
to kind of launch other areas.
Yeah. It's definitely something that's going to get healed along the way. And the more you
Mhm.
can observe it within yourself, the easier it's going to be to offer that and to attract other people who have that problem.
Yeah.
Are you open to a suggestion?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say start with just observing when that voice comes in,
Mhm.
trying to notice like what happens right before that voice shoots in there.
Mhm.
Like, are you thinking of an idea? You get a little bit scared, and then that voice is immediately like, "We have to protect her. We have to tell
Yeah.
her she can't do this. It's too scary." Right? And as you notice that correlation, you can do some like cognitive behavioral therapy around it. But I would suggest you just give it a hug,
Mhm.
right? Like every time you have that thought, it's like, "Oh, there you are again." And maybe like, I don't know, I like to draw out little doodles of my difficult emotions. So I'm like, it's you, anger. And then I can picture anger and I can like give anger a hug. And he's like, get off of me. Um,
Yep. Or one thing that I use a lot is like inviting them to the dinner table.
mhm.
Like instead of trying to like shoo them out the door
Yeah.
and pretend they're not there, like invite them, sit, stay a while. Like, why
Yeah.
am I trying to get rid of this feeling the
Mhm.
minute it comes up?
Mhm. And it might be also worth exploring, what do I want to do with this feeling?
Hmm. Yeah. I like that because one thing that I've been kind of getting a little bit more thoughtful about, I guess, is looking at like, because I work with trauma across any population that I work with. Like that's kind of at the core of the work I do. Um, And instead of looking at it like a post-traumatic injury or PTSD or whatever, however you want to describe it, looking at it from post-traumatic growth and how do we grow from that instead of letting it hold us back. And I think that works really well with like the imposter syndrome piece too. Like, yeah, I have these feelings. The more I talk about it, the more other people share.
Mhm.
And then, okay, so how, like you said, what can I do with this feeling? What do I want to accomplish with this feeling or whatever it is? Like, how can I turn this so it's helping me instead of holding me back?
I'm
Yeah.
going to end this live here. So if you would like to be coached by me, Morgan, I'm very good at what I do, as you can see. You have to hire me. So you can DM me. You can check out the link in my profile. You can leave a comment that says, I'm curious about working with you, and I will reach out to you. We can chat about the best way to work together. Most people start working with me in my 30-day coaching program. We reach for one of those big goals and we start to tackle it slowly but surely. We create actionable results together that make you more money doing work that you love so that you have time to do what you also love to do, live your life in a beautiful way.